name's Chris, and today we are going to be installing OAE on Ubuntu 14.04 64-bit. Following the guide from OAE's GitHub page, which is pretty straightforward. I guess it's just best to get a good visual representation of what you're going to be doing. So let's get started. I have created a directory in my home directory called OAE that has all of the preliminary programs. If you've read through the GitHub page, there are quite a few that you're going to have to install before actually getting OAE up and running. Here we got Cassandra, Elasticsearch, Etherpad Lite, Graphics Magic, Nginx, Node.js, RabbitMQ, and Redis. Not in that particular order. We'll be going through the order in a little bit. In each directory, I have the binaries available in each of them to get them installed so we can do them all together. If you want to do this way, it's up to you. However you want to get the binaries installed, I just like to have one central area to have everything ready to go and easy to roll out. So let's get started with installing Node.js. I'm going to run this command right here, curl sl. It's going to get it all ready for us. So as this package is downloading, setting up, I'm basically following Node's GitHub account to run it. So the next thing is to apt-get install Node.js from the repo. And you're good. You're good to go. That's all done. So the next step would be we're going to move on to Apache Cassandra. So if we go over to the Cassandra directory, I have 2.1.3 downloaded and ready to roll out. One thing I like to add about Apache Cassandra is that you're definitely going to want to install Java 7. You're not going to want to use OpenJDK. Definitely run and use JDK 7 straight from Sun Java. That should be easy enough and straightforward to get done. It's downloaded from their website. There's actually a PPA script available if you want to use that. I can provide a link for that down in the description box below. Basically, following the guide on the GitHub account, going to make two directories, and you're going to set yourself as the ownership of those directories, and then so you have to make a directory in varlib and varlog Cassandra, and then I'm just copy and pasting straight from their Git account. Alright, it's good to go. And then you're going to cd, first we gotta untar it, I guess you could say. cd into Apache, and then run it. Here, I'll do it in here. Sometimes it doesn't like running into it in the background, so that's why I have this open, so I can just leave multiple command lines open. Alright, so you're going to type bin Cassandra. And let that do its thing. The next is to install Redis. So you pull that straight from their download page. Oh, go back into Redis. Alright, so it's chilling right there. So let's untar that. Oh, I should actually type that correctly. Alright, so there we go. See you there. Alright, I guess I do have to do it. Let this run through. Alright, cool. Alright, so let's run sudo server, and that is up and running. Cool. Great. So the next step is going to be doing Elasticsearch. So let's go over into Elasticsearch. Let's untar that. Alright, and then Elasticsearch. Okay, so all we have to run is bin Elasticsearch. Oh, since I'm running it, I should do it over here. Now, there are ways to run it all in the background, but I'm just doing this to get it all up and running so you can see how everything's running. So I'm just opening up multiple camera windows on the desktop environment just to give a visual representation. So cd OAE, Elasticsearch, sudo bin Elasticsearch. So that's going to start doing its own thing. Alright. So let's go to, I guess the next step would be RabbitMQ. Let me check. I'm just going to do this right for a second. Q0. Oop, spelled that wrong. If I could spell right. So there is, I can, alright, cool. So I can already add the repository. Great, so we don't have to worry about doing packages, just apt-get install RabbitMQ-server. From that, if it's not already running in the background, you can run I think this is it. If not, then start. Alright, Rabbit is already running on OAE test. Alright, cool. So we don't have to worry about, it's already running in the background. You're good to go. The next step would be to get up and running Graphics Magic. Now, that is already easily pulled from a repository. I already have that installed, as I can show you guys here. So, if, here, put that up there. If I run sudo apt-get install graphics mat. How do you spell it? Graphics. This is a weird spell. There you go, Graphics Magic, like that. I already have it installed, but that's all you have to do. You have that up and running already. Next is going to be Nginx. So it says to use Nginx version 1.4.2 or higher, and you're also going to need PCRE, which will be used to configure Nginx as well. Let's go to PCRE. Oops. PCRE. And we will unpackage that. VF PCRE. Let's see what's there too. CD PCRE. Oops. I keep doing that. So great, that's all there. Let's just do, so you're gonna need, here, I'll make it easy to read. When you configure Nginx with PCRE, you're gonna have to pass it the path to the PCRE installation folder directory. So I'm just gonna copy that right here. We'll need that. Let's back out. Let's go into the Nginx folder, and I see what I did. I don't know why I did that. I downloaded the Windows one. I forgot there's an actual. Alright, well, let's just download the other version real quick. Nginx.org. I downloaded this in accident. I was supposed to be looking right there. Is this a stable version? You want a stable version. 162. Alright, save that. Go to downloads. Then over to OAE. I'm just doing this really easily. Jinx. Alright. Cool. So, I can delete that now. I don't need that at all. RM RF Jinx 1.6.2. Okay. Car CXVF Jinx. That's much better. Alright, so like I said, you're going to need to have that path readily available, and I still have it right there. The way to install it, you're going to have to run /configure with pcre equals your path. Right there. I'm going to run sudo. Oops. Let it do its thing. Alright. Then run make. And sudo make install. Alright, so now it's running onto the configuration with pcre, and it looks like we are pretty much done. Alright, so on to the next step. We are going on to Etherpad now. So, cd into Etherpad. Let me that is, I think that is cloned. Etherpad Lite. Yeah, Etherpad Lite is cloned from a Git repository. So, once you here, I'll put that right here for you right now. I already cloned it, but that's where you need to pull it from. GitHub.com/ether/etherpadlite.git. So that's right there for you to get. Once that has been cloned, you just do. Oh, that's also true. So with Etherpad, OAE requires a separate plugin for it that you're also going to need to pull. You have to run Etherpad first. So we'll do sudo. You're in the Etherpad Lite directory. Sudo bin run.sh. Alright. It has you do this funny little thing where you have to make sure you're root, or you want to run it as root, or whatever it wants. Alright, so basically at default, since the admin username and password are not set, you can change them in the settings of JSON file, and you'll be good to go. So this is fine. Now we can test by going to localhost. If I can type 9001. There you are. New Etherpad thing called face, and there we are. You have it up and running. This is pretty cool. It's like a collaboration type text editing system that you can play around with. So now that this is here and ready to go, now you have a directory. You can't really see it because it's just so dark on this. On the SSH window, but there's a directory called node modules. Cd into node modules, and this is where you're going to add the OAE Etherpad OAE plugin, basically. So you're going to need to clone. Alright, so you're going to need to clone with sudo. That's done. You go into app OAE, cd app OAE, run npm install link cd. That'll get you out. So there's a few things you're going to need to do with Etherpad. Quite a few things actually. So here I'm gonna turn this off to shut that down. Now that we're gonna be starting to edit it. So you're going to need to copy or symlink the directory static/css/pad.css in the OAE module to a different directory. So first, before we need to do that, we need to basically cd to your Etherpad directory. So you're going to remove the other the default here. Before we do that, I am going to copy it as a backup. You should always do this. to pad.css.bkb. Alright, now we're going to remove it. Yes, I want to remove. Alright, and then now you're going to create the symbolic link. And there you're good. You're good to go. Alright, so you're going to need to change in the settings.json file. If you're favoriting text editor, whatever you want to do, I'll just use Nano. Going to have to look for a change. You have to enable WebSockets as a way of communicating between Etherpad and Hillary. So in order to do this, we need to find a line called Socket Transport Protocols. So just move on down. Socket Transport Protocols right here. So it's going to say, and as opposed to having just these three fields, you're going to add another one in that says WebSocket. And then the default pad text, it also recommends you changing, unless it's default right now to welcome to Etherpad late, yada yada yada. But if you want to change that to something else, you can do that. It's up to you. I'm just going to leave it to default for now. So, alright, so in order to use the OAE toolbar, you're going to need to change one more thing in the settings.json file to update. So if you have to look for a text called toolbar. There's we were just talking about before. Here is the username and password for both things that you'd want to change if you want to for login. Toolbar right here. Okay, so toolbar left, you are going to want to keep bold, italic, underline, strike through, ordered list, unordered list, indent, outdent, and then you're going to want to take out undo. It wants you to knock out undo, redo, and clear authorship. So if you just delete those. Alright. And under write, just leave show users. And you should be good to go now. Alright, now we can write this out. You'll run. Oh, let me do that in. That's right here. Sudo bin.sh. Etherpad rocks my socks. Sure it does. Whatever makes you happy, Etherpad. So we're just gonna let this run, let it do its thing, let it set up, and then we're gonna test it again. Alright. Let's go 127. Pad test. And there we go. Okay, so it's up and running and everything. You're good to go. Everything's great. Awesome. On to the next thing. So the next is actually going to be deploying the server itself. So we're going to cd out to the OAE directory. You're going to clone the two repositories. Hillary and the Sakai-UX Git repository. It's spelled 3. The S is a 3. And here's this one. Alright, it's going to take quite a while to do it. At the same time, we need to edit the hosts folder, excuse me, to take in 0.0.1, 0.0.1. So you're going to need to map admin.oae.com and tenant1.oae.com. These are the minimal amount of host entries you're going to need to have your admin web interface and your tenant web interface to be accessible. So you're going to need to get that done right out. Sweet. Now that we're done there, we already did that. So we need to go into the Hillary directory, and we are going to open up sudo nano config.js. Config.files.local storage directory is going to point to a directory that exists. That is a reference. Store such files such as profiles, pictures, content bodies, previews, and etc. I'm just reading this straight from the Git guide. So we can just create something. On the root drive, we'll just call this cd temp files, or call cd OAE. How am I writing cd? Sudo make dir OAE files. Alright, so we have that. So if you look for config.files.local storage directory, it's config.cassandra, config.redis, config.servers right there. Config.files.local storage directory. So since I just did it on there, let's do OAE/OAE files, and that's that. The next thing is to ensure the property config.servers.globaladminhosts is configured to the same hostname that you set in your hosts file. So since we left that default, as you can see right here, admin.oae.com, it's default. We didn't need to change anything there. That's fine. So the next step in here is to configure the API key property that to the API key that is found in the text file for Etherpad. So it gives you an API key, I guess randomly generated, that you're going to need to copy into here. So if we go to config.etherpad, is it up here? Cassandra config.eth redis servers .cookie telemetry search config.mq previews preview processing. Love notifications. Accessories. Email. I feel we're getting close. There we go. Alright, config.etherpad. So the API key is here. I guess it just has a random one. So if we go to cd home, cd o, cd OAE, etherpad. There it is, right there at the top. API key.text, cat API key. I just realized I can't copy and paste from a VM window over into the SSH, and there's no way I'm typing that out. So let's duplicate sessions. Oh, put that in wrong. CD OAE, CD Etherpad, Etherpad Lite, cat, API key dot text. So let's just copy that whole thing, and we'll remove all of this. Sweet, there we go. So right out. Done. Okay. So the next one is a pretty lengthy process. This is configuring Nginx in the nginx.conf folder. Sorry, nginx.conf file. This is located in the Sakai UX directory. Nginx. If you go into the Nginx folder, you see right there, there is an nginx.conf file. It's you're gonna have to do a lot of replacing, basically. So what I'm gonna do is I already have a WinSCP session open. I'm going to SCP that over to my desktop so I can run it in Notepad++ and just do a Control H and just replace everything, because it's very lengthy. We'll go through each of the things that we need to replace in just a moment, so you just give me a second here to move this over. Alright, nginx.conf, so edit with Notepad++. Alright, here we go. So there is a bunch of placeholders, basically. As you can see, there's two right here: Nginx user, Nginx group, with the OS user and group. So you need to replace those with the OS user and group that the Nginx process should run as. You can set this to however you want, just for me to get out of the way. I'm going to run it as me. And then what group do I want to run it as? OpenFlow group. Alright. So, basically, I'm going to do a Control H, find everything that has, that has this, replace with OpenFlow. Replace all. Everything that has group. I think that was only ones at the top, so I think we're good with that. Let me change that. I'll change that. Change that to sudo, just to give enough permissions. That, by all means, this is probably not the right way to do it, but this is just a quick run through. We're learning as we go type thing. So the next thing you have to do is change nginx.conf.hostname to the administration server host that you configured in your etc hosts file. So maybe admin.oa.com, replace all that, found one of those. Alright. So the next one is home. And that's going to be the full absolute path of your cloned Sakai directory. The 3 spelled with a 3. So if I go 3 right there, pwd, that's going to be /home/openflow/oe/Sakai UX. Alright, let's replace all that. See, look, 21 occurrences. I'm not going to go in there and start copy and pasting 21 different files, so it's much easier to do this, basically. Alright, and the next one is the last one, nginx.conf/local file storage directory. That's going to be the full absolute path that you configured as local storage directory that we made on the root file system, basically, that we added before in the Hillary directory. So that's going to be /OAE files. Replace all. Another 2 occurrences there. Alright, so once we are done with that, save that. I will WinSCP that back over. So let's rename that to WKP. I'll re-SCP this back over. And the next step will be to run Nginx. Now, did I already start running Nginx? I don't believe I did. So we should be good to go with this. I have a lot of command prompts open. So if we'd go to, we just type sudo user / local / nginx c, and then your Sakai directory. So you're basically starting up Nginx. I didn't finish this directory out, right? I'm sorry, I'm still copying straight from the git thing. So sbin nginx-c. So the full directory for that is /home/openflow/oe/kai-ux/nginx.conf. Let that run. Failed in... Oh, that's why. I don't think... Oh, it doesn't like the username. Oh, okay, I see what it's asking for now. Okay, so let's go back into... I'll just do it this way, make it easier. No, doesn't like... I left the brackets around here. That's what I did wrong. I'm sorry. Write that out. Alright, I took it. So now we have to go into the Hillary directory and install dependency packages. Alright, so we're installing all the dependencies right now. Let it do its thing. Lots of dependencies. Alright, cool. So it liked it. So let's run node app.js, node modules. Here's the moment of truth. This is the command that you run to get OAE up and running. So it's taking everything alright. One error, but I guess we'll see how that goes. Alright, firing up tenants. Enjoy. Here's the moment of truth. admin.oae.com. And here we are. Perfect. So, I think it's, is it admin? No, I don't think it's. I think that's what we have to configure. Yeah, it's administrator. Okay, so administrator. Great. Awesome. And here's the global admin page. You can create a new tenant, add name, test, alias, test name, tenant1.oae.com. Create this new tenant. Awesome. Tenant1.oae, we can go straight to it. And there we are. So, this has been a journey. If you have any questions and concerns, just post in the comments below. Hopefully I'll be available to answer them as soon as possible. Thank you very much and have a great day.